Hey Buzz family and welcome to BuzzBarca. Today we'll be talking about the new Barcelona manager Hansi Flick, his coaching history throughout the years, so his time at Bayern Munich and the German national team, along with his history before that. We'll be talking about his philosophy and what he likes to implement tactic-wise on the field, and what he brings as a manager. What type of manager is he? Is he demanding? Does he want a lot of other players? We'll be going through everything related to that. So like the video and hit the subscribe button. Let's get to it. Hansi Flick started his managerial career starting at FC Barcelona. It's a German club and he spent 4 years there as the manager. After his success there, he moved to Hoffenheim where he spent another 5 years developing as a coach. After that, he got his somewhat of a big move to RB Salzburg as an assistant manager. He was there for a very short amount of time. But soon he got the call to be the assistant manager at the Germany national team. He was there for 8 years as the assistant manager and then later moved to a sporting director role for the next 3 years. So this is where people don't really know he was part of those teams, but he had a really big impact. After that, he went back to Hoffenheim as a managing director of sport. He spent about a year there. And this is when Hansi Flick made the big move to Bayern Munich as an assistant manager in 2019. Later became the manager for the next 2 years and was part of one of the best teams in the history of football with Lewandowski, Thomas Müller, Alphonso Davies. The list goes on and on. That team was very strong, had a 4-2-3-1 formation. All players were maximized to their top potential. Fitness on that team was great. Goal scoring, Lewandowski, you could argue that deserved the Ballon d'Or of the year where it wasn't given. All in all, one of the greatest German teams and football teams of all time. After his time at Bayern Munich, he decided to step away and become the manager of Germany. He ended up coaching 25 games for Germany. It wasn't the best stint, especially at the World Cup. But everything seemed to be going on a little bit of a downhill. After about a year off, he is finally appointed and he's back to working as a manager for FC Barcelona. So it is a very exciting time and you can see his experience is something that he does not lack. He's coached big teams, he's coached big players, so personalities shouldn't clash under him. He's a very professional, very demanding manager. So it's going to be very exciting for us Barcelona fans to see what he can offer. One of the biggest philosophies that Hansi Flick puts in his teams is that he favors a consistent 4-2-3-1 formation, emphasizing asymmetric attacking shapes, and he demands a lot out of the fullbacks, especially in the attack. If you look at the Bayern team that won everything, he utilizes players like David Alaba and Alphonso Davies as attacking fullbacks. In the midfield, Kimmich and Goretzka often formed the base. Kimmich even dropped into the defense and created overloads and facilitated play. During the attacking phase of the game, Bayern Munich's attack often looked like a 3-1-4-2 formation, with the fullbacks very, very advanced up the field. Müller playing as a supporting role for Lewandowski, almost like a second striker cam. The likes of Gnabry, Coman, and Sané used to offer attacking width from the left and the right. And with Lewandowski's movement, it created space and opportunities, which led to lots and lots of goals that season. Müller's intelligence in this team did not go unnoticed as well, as he created a lot of movement for this team, moving into the half spaces and the pockets. This created a lot of attacking triangles and it found a lot of space in behind where Lewandowski was almost used as a poacher. One of the biggest things that Hansi Flick implemented in that Bayern team was the press. If anybody was watching the games back then, you would realize that they were pressing with their front three and their midfield, pushing up the field, cutting the passing lanes, and they were forcing turnover. This is what led to a high percentage of possession and which led to more goals, because if they have the ball, you can't lose the ball. Defended with a very high line. Neuer as the sweeper keeper also helped stop that as well. They relied on their athleticism and their defensive awareness to counter direct attacks. And someone that was very key to this was Alphonso Davies and his pace on the left flank. He could come back and he could cover, so someone like Balde, for example, could be a very good profile for Hansi Flick to use in his team for Barcelona. The transition from defense to attack was also very seamless, with Pavard as well on the right side offering pace and recovery options. Moving on, let's talk about what Hansi Flick will be bringing to Barcelona, what type of things we will be seeing implemented into the team. Hansi Flick emphasizes an aggressive, attacking playstyle where prioritizing the ball recovery is one of his big things. Xavi also tried to implement a high pressing tactic, but it did not work, and the press was very, very weak, and it was hard for us to win the ball back. But with Hansi Flick, you can expect a very high press and a team that works together to get the ball back. This will lead to more scoring chances, as winning the ball in the final third will be increased, and the build-up play wouldn't be as relied on. So we'll see less passing with the center backs or the full backs. We'll have more possession up the field so we can quickly counter-attack and get into space behind. A player like Vitor Roque might do really well in this formation, as we're not hugging defenders, we can get in behind. There'll be space for him to actually move into. Flick also really loves to attack directly with long balls and crosses. So someone like Kubarsi, Araujo with the long balls, and especially with Kubarsi's passing ability, this could be really, really good for finding wingers and even midfielders that are just running down the half spaces. Flick's coaching emphasizes effort, intensity, and discipline. This will probably lead to less injuries, as players will be spending more time in the weight room. The intensity of the trainings will be increased, and a mentality shift for the whole team is something that is very, very much needed right now at Barcelona. However, his high defensive line may cause a risk for a team that hasn't really done that well defensively this past season. Players like Balde and Koundé are even more vital to this team, and maybe other profiles are even looked at when it comes to recovery of defense. But this is the risk you take with playing a high line and a very high press. It's very important that Hansi Flick implements all of these things we just talked about, because Barcelona is looking for a culture shift, introducing new methods and styles. This move signals a departure from Barcelona playing their traditional possession-based football. As Laporta said, he wants to play the Barcelona way, Barcelona DNA, but with Hansi Flick in, we were implementing a different tactic of football, something more intense, a lot more pressing, and very, very different from the slow build-up when it comes to Barcelona in the past few years. Flick's tenure could mark a crucial step in Barcelona's evolution and rebuilding process, challenging the club to adapt to new methods and sustain success. So yes, that's gonna do it for this video. Hansi Flick, new manager of Barcelona. Let's see how he can implement all of these new things into FC Barcelona. And I know, as a fan of the team and a lot of fans that are watching this, we just can't wait till the next season starts. We have to wait all the way till August, but good times are coming soon, and I'll see you on the next video. Buzz Barca.